buried beneath the immediate awareness, deep inside of your subconscious, are your beliefs, your perspectives, expectations, your fears. You have no immediate access to what resides in the subconscious mind, but it does control 95% of how we think, react, believe, and the actions that we take and the way that you perceive life. A lot of us believe that we operate in our conscious awareness. Our conscious awareness says we are in this beautiful room, we look good, we smell good, all of the stuff that we're aware of. But the subconscious mind, the thing that houses literally everything that we've experienced in this world, whether we can remember it or not. And how I describe this is, let's say, and if you heard me speak, I always go to this. Let's say baby gets stuck in mom's birth canal at birth. Okay, super traumatic. Doctors are rushing in. Oh my goodness. 20 years later, that person gets stuck on an elevator and they're freaking out. And they don't know why. Because that memory has been ingrained in the body, whether they can access the memory or not. All they know is they don't like tight spaces. And so oftentimes we go throughout life thinking that this is just the way that God made me. And sometimes it really is just memories being stored into your body and being ingrained in your subconscious mind. Am I going too fast? Everybody with me still? Think about that. Again, you don't immediately control 95% of what you do in this world. Most of what you do is completely, again, unconscious, and you're simply carrying out programs that are built into your mind and burned into your neural pathways. How do we prove this biblically? Okay, I'm always about going back to the Bible, okay? When you read in Romans 7 and 21, if you all want to take that down, Romans 7 and 21. This is a scripture where Paul talks about, and if you've ever been in church, I'm sure you've heard people say, when I want to do good, evil was always present with me. In other words, when I want to start the business, fear is always present. When I want to write the book, shame is always present. When I want to leave the relationship, the thought that no one will ever love me is always present. When I want to advance in my job, the thought that I'm not good enough is always present. When I want to trust this friendship, when I want to step into this new relationship, abandonment and rejection is always present. When I want to have faith that things can truly turn in my favor, the idea that every good thing is taken away from me is always present. Those subconscious belief systems that, again, get ingrained into our mind. Why? Because our experiences and our emotional attachment to those experiences form these cognitive schemas or beliefs or narratives that becomes the driver and the lens in which we begin to look at life through. Y'all following me? Are you good? Okay. And to be honest, most of what is ingrained in our mind about who we are and how we process is deeply rooted in how people have mismanaged our hearts.
That's good.
You weren't born into this world having these negative beliefs about yourself. Right. I don't want you to ever believe that. It's not until experiences, it's not until people start planting these little seeds in your mind that make you think that, again, I was just created this way. This is why some of us walk around, again, with negative beliefs about not being good enough or not being smart enough, or saying things like this is just a family trait, or this is, again, the way that God made me, in order for us to not have to confront the lies that we have rehearsed for so long that have become belief systems. We get stuck in these negative beliefs and we build narratives about ourselves, the world, and others that we walk throughout life with. And one thing that I always tell myself is that tell a lot of my clients is that we don't want to be wrong. Let's be real. We don't like to be wrong. Anybody like being wrong in this room? We don't like to be wrong, right? We want to believe that we're always right. So whatever narrative that you have about yourself that is ingrained in your mind will, again, be the belief that you look for evidence for to feel validated in believing what you believe to be true. So an example about that, right? Have you ever been or, got invited to a party and you're like, I just really don't want to go. And then we show up to the party and something bad happens. See, I told you, this is why I should have just listened to my first mind, right? And that's the same exact thing that happens with negative beliefs. If I tell myself I'm not good enough, all I'm going to do is look for evidence throughout life as to why I must believe that I'm not good enough. And we never take the time out to think about why we are good enough. Because whatever narrative, whatever is ingrained in our mind, we're just going to keep looking for evidence for so that we can feel validated in the beliefs that we have about ourselves, whether it be good or bad. That's why you can run into a narcissist that thinks he's the greatest person in the world. And guess what? He's going to find all the evidence as to why he's the greatest in the world. He or she, okay? We're not going to do that in this room. Okay? And so we take, again, these beliefs and ingrained mindsets, and we come to Christ, and we think this automatic change is supposed to happen when we say yes to God. But instead, it starts to just shift how we utilize those belief systems. So instead of me seeking validation from all these guys, I just start seeking validation from the people that I worship with. I start to put on titles that make me feel good about myself. And so we come into contact with God or Christ, and then we just utilize it in different ways. And this is why I always say we have a lot of spiritually healed individuals, but they are emotionally wounded. And this is why I love conferences like this, right? Because we get to talk about mind, body, and spirit, which makes up the encompass of who we are. The Bible tells us in Proverbs 23:7. Anybody's taking notes? Proverbs 23:7. It says, "For as he thinks in his heart, so is he." This idea about thinking in heart biblically lets us know that there is an interchangeable language when we think about our mind, which is separate from the brain, but we can